Well, good morning. Thanks. As you know, I'm Jo O'Sullivan from O'Sullivan Family Law down in Brighton. Thanks to Jo and Resolution for inviting me. I hope the address of the talk hasn't put you off. It seems a bit big-headed and not quite true. The more work we've done in Brighton together, the more we've learned, the more mistakes we've made, and best of all, we've done it together. You'll see on the right-hand side of my first slide, I thought this was a great idea in 2001, at Do Stuff Together. Of course, do stuff together can be a bit rude. It is nice to do stuff together from time to time. But what I was trying to say was you can break up together. And what I didn't realise was that it was going to end up being the way I worked. So, tweet, follow me, tweet me, say how fantastic I am, because really the public needs to know this, especially the public in Brighton. So, it helps to be a bit of a self-publicist too. Anyway, so here we go. Why is this important? Well, it's important because we need to help separating couples, but more importantly, their children separate with dignity and compassion. But mostly, we've got to work together. But do you know, it didn't start like that. And here's a little story of how it happened. I set up the business and I thought, where will the work come from? I'd been on the collaborative training course, and right at the end of the course, there's a little marketing section. Do you remember it? And it says, here's the letter you write to all the possible referrers. And I thought, well, I've got nothing else to do. I'll send that out. And then what happened? So here it went. So it went off to all the therapists I could find, life coaches, financial coaches and IFAs, priests, churches, Relate. If you can think of anybody who might refer, I emailed them. What was most shocking was that quite a few people emailed me back. Some people email me back and said, this is great, I don't want to meet up, I haven't got time, but I'm going to think of you whenever I'm thinking about making a referral. I was surprised by how much goodwill there was out there. By the way, I still get referrals 7 years on from those initial coffees. But what did I do? I drank a lot of coffee. And I ate a lot of cake. And as I'm in Brighton, all the cake was gluten-free. We're very tolerant in Brighton of everything but gluten. It is actually true, I am gluten intolerant, but so then what happened? I made videos. Not very good videos, but they're very me. So it's a kind of try before you buy. So people play the video and they think, I like that Jo O'Sullivan, or they think, oh, no. That's great, because I really want them to be a fan before they come and meet me. I want them to be on my side. I'm on my own, I have enough to worry about. I want them to like me. Or don't come and see me. Oh, and then I did adverts. This is a very early one. This is my first one. It's very much about me, isn't it? That changes, by the way, 7 years later. But, you know, in the beginning, I just did adverts. I was trying to tell people about the work. What is collaborative practice? Why is it important? Why might it be good for your family? You notice that the therapists do get a little bit of a look in. You have therapists that work with you. Why is that? Okay, important stuff, early stuff. You're very welcome to copy these, but they're very bad. What else? I thought, oh, I've got my own business, I can do what I like. I can set up a parenting after parting course. There wasn't one locally, so I copied some of the greats in London who were doing it, and Resolution who taught of it, and I thought, well, let's just do one in Brighton. And in Lewes, because I practice there too. It's fantastic. It's amazing. I met one of these people having coffee as well. She said, I'm an expert in children. This is what I do. I said, oh, let's do a programme. People need options, I think. They need places to go with their problems. I've given lots of talks. In the early days, I advertised the talks. About 10 people came, 20 people came. And you can have some fun, you know. I go to Brighton University, I go to Sussex University, I try to get them young. Yeah, you don't have to, you're learning about the law and it's really exciting, isn't it? You know, but actually it's about the people, it's about their clients, and that's not something they learn in law school. Oh, I tried to talk to the WI. They've never invited me. I can't think why. I'd fit right in. And then I got fed up. I got really fed up. I got so fed up, I started another pod. I thought, you lot are not moving along quickly enough for me. We've got all of these therapists who are interested in working with us, and the most we do is invite them to come and give us a talk. You'll remember Stephen Anderson and Tom Farrell did the Groundhog Day pod, yeah? So your pod meeting. Let's have a discussion about marketing and advertising. Oh, let's have a discussion about websites and marketing, and let's have another discussion about websites and marketing and leaflets. That sound familiar? So depressing. So then I thought, well, if I want to work in an interdisciplinary way, I mean, the point was, the more work I did, the more I realised I couldn't keep doing it on my own. So myself and the other lawyer, we might be great mates, but you know, we're not therapists, and we don't know how to help people really when they're going through this, and certainly not at my outrageous hourly rate an hour. Okay, that's not really my expertise. So I thought, okay, what do we do about that? So the great Angela Lake Carroll came down and talked to us and gave us a 2-day course on how to work together as a pod. We had lots of questions for Angela Lake Carroll, like how do you work together, how can we do this? And she didn't have all the answers because this is pretty new. And by the way, I don't have an original idea. I followed Mary Shaw in Newcastle. The parenting, basically, people have done this already. You know, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just have to have some faith and do what other people have done. Oh, I did a cartoon. So trying to explain the difference between the traditional divorce, I don't know if you can read that. Why won't he make up his mind already? He's just trying to take everything he can. Letters flying across. Does anybody write letters anymore? Do you still put letters in the post? It's hilarious, isn't it? Why are we doing that? Anyway, I can't agree to anything that just makes it worse for the kids. We're getting nowhere with this. Then the collaborative divorce with family consultant. I couldn't think of a snappy title for that. Meeting with the family consultants, both with solicitors working through underlying feelings and emotion. A handy way of getting the Anchor statement in there. That was mentioned this morning by Emma. And it's very metrosexual because I'm in Brighton, so you can't tell who anybody is, or we like that. It's amazing how we all seem to be able to cooperate. What a relief to know it's not just me feeling this way, and I can't believe we've managed to agree things so quickly. Okay, not fantastic. You're welcome to borrow that as well. I'll just scrub off O'Sullivan Family Law. I think the other thing you learn to do is share a bit more. Come on to that. What have we done? We've almost come up with some fixed fees. Because quite a lot of people really want to do this, but they can't afford it. Or they know that their mum and dad will bankroll it if they only knew how much it would cost. And they can perhaps get some borrowing if only they knew how much it would be. And after quite a lot of trial and error, we've come up with something. The family consultants, however, want to charge more for their time, not less. So I'm in talks with them at the moment. So look, if I'm earning less, you can't earn more. But anyway, maybe they're right and I'm wrong. But mostly, I've had to change. Don't worry, you don't have to, but I had to. So, to change from the lawyer, who's trained to have all the answers, to fit a client into the case law and the statute and local practice. Really, when I thought I was a knight in shining armour, didn't you? I was going to sort it all out. What kind of person is attracted to the legal profession? Do you recognise yourself up there? Competitive? I like to win, don't you? I always got picked for the winning team. I don't know why. Goal-orientated. I'm driven to be the best. There's only one Joe Sullivan, one Joe Sullivan. Anyone go to football? I'm argumentative. So were our friends this morning, very good at arguing. I like a good argument. Controlling. Well, you don't want to miss a court date, do you? You've got to be in control of your cases. I wanted to change the world. I wanted to fight for my client. Most of us do. But that's pretty hard work, isn't it? Being all of that. Maybe that's not you. I speak for myself. But that kind of work is hard. It can be isolating. Even in a big law firm, you can find yourself on your own. And one of the reasons for that is that it's just not appropriate to talk about your cases and their confidential nature with your friends and family. I certainly don't talk about my cases at home. As J. Kim Wright says in her book, Lawyers as Peacemakers, it's no secret that addiction, suicide, depression and cynicism are rampant among lawyers. Cynics? Us? So I've had to accept that I don't have all the answers. I don't have to be driven to be right or to win. It's about what that separating couple need and want. It's not about me. I had to give up the fight. So, how did this manifest itself? For example, in our pod, we deliberately made it so that no lawyer was ever in charge of a meeting. Nope. Never took the minutes, never set the agenda, because we really perhaps aren't the best people to do that. I had to ask myself new questions. If I'm not going to be a leader, I'm not going to be in charge, then how can I succeed? So instead of saying, how can I win, I say, what can I best contribute to this situation? How can I align to what is needed? And what difference can I make? They didn't teach you that in law school, did they? We're not naturally taught to align to anything, we're taught to fight. Doing collaborative law is quite hard. So, we had to retrain the Joe. How do we do that? I've been on a non-violent communication course. In fact, if you ask my collaborative colleagues what was the biggest change in me, it was after I did this course. Calm, Professor Stokoe, I went to see her in Loughborough, and these are courses now offered by Resolution. And that's converting calls to cases. Calls to cases. People phone you up. They want to know about what you have to offer. And in your meeting, you talk about it. We are salespeople. No one told you that at law school either. But you have to talk about what the process can do. There's actually only one thing the process you can't do. The only thing you can't do is go to court. Who cares? Most cases don't go to court. Do they? That's the point. 5% of all cases end up in court. And of those, tiny percentage have an adjudication. So it's a minority of a minority anyway. This is just a way of preventing that. Listening courses. I'm good at talking, not very good at listening. Yeah, most of us are. I ask very closed questions naturally because I'm trying to elicit the information I want from the client. I'm not really trying to find out what they need. It's not this last thing, really, that I'm interested in until I've had to change. I have to find out what they need, not what I need them to need. Does that make sense? Meditation. Breathe. I was going to do a meditation with you. In fact, all my poor mediation clients, I shouldn't say that, but for the first session together, we have a meditation. And at first they're a bit wary. And then the second time they come in, oh, we're going to do that breathing thing we did last time, Joe. They love it. They just love it. They just have to do things differently. Silent retreats, and although Bill Hewlett's not offering a resolution transformative mediation, that really helped me try to understand what my client was trying to get to. So I haven't stopped being a lawyer though, have I? I still give legal advice. I share the legal advice. If I send out a letter of advice before collaborative, then I share that, because I'm probably not going to put anything in there that no one else could read. It's not a battle. I'm not preparing my client in between meetings strategically, but I probably will meet my client to support them. I will encourage them to go to the family consultant, not me. And I need ongoing help, not just in training, but actually all of the things that we were trained to do make the system work. So I have meetings, between meetings with my collaborative friends. I have a 3-way meeting with the family consultant, the IFA and the other lawyer. That I had to slow down, because I don't know about you, I want to rush to the end. I want to solve it for them, but actually we need to take time, we need to listen to each other and learn from each other, and sometimes I need to be told to shut up. All right, I'll tell you this little story. Obviously it's between us. But I decided that my collaborative friend's client really had it wrong about how to value his business. And I would not shut up about it. I mean, really. I was saying, that's not the way we do it. That's not the way that we do it. And literally, I was kicked under the table. I was just wrong. I just had to let it go, and I couldn't let it go. But you need to be able to, your friends need to be able to tell you when you're wrong and when you're right. But learning these soft skills, they call them, they're not soft, they're hard. Because collaborative is hard, in a way. I mean, I love it, but it's not for everybody. And if it's not for you, don't do it. Why are you making yourself do something you don't want to do? I want to break into song, but I won't. All right, maybe I will. But as we work together as a pod, we learned by our mistakes, quite a few of them. And we've brought training in, So recently we had Helen Garlick to come down to Brighton to talk about safeguarding. We had Angela Lake Carroll again to come and talk about confidentiality and privilege. In particular, sharing of information before the magic participation agreement has been signed. So, we're moving on. But the secret of my collaborative success really is my collaborative community. Nurturing candid collaborative communities. Watch them grow. Let's be honest with each other in a loving and caring way. Loving. It's not often you hear that, but we've got to love each other and work through it. Because we're working with the chaos of our clients' separation. There's never a worse time for them. Not really. And yet we have to work with them, with what's going on for them at that time. Work with their pace. It's not been easy. And so I think Emma said it. What are the clients getting when they buy my services? They're not just getting me. They're getting my collaborative friend. They're getting the family consultant. They're getting the financial coach or IFA, or the pensions, it says provider, sorry, but pensions expert. That's what makes it successful. They're not just buying me, they're buying them. They're buying us. Oh, That's just really exciting in pod. You can't look at that yet. So we created new rituals. The pod meetings were getting a bit dull, so I invited everyone round for breakfast. I'd do a good breakfast. We have parties. We talk about cases. We try to lighten up a bit because this is difficult work, and we need to learn to trust each other. So if your rituals aren't working, if your pod meetings aren't working, we'll do something else. Paintballing? Maybe not. So my message for you is don't follow my example, really. Don't follow my example. I did a lot of this on my own. I was instigating, not all of it, but quite a lot of it on my own, and I wish I hadn't. I wish I'd worked with other people. I wish I'd worked with my pod. I wish I'd said, why don't we take 20 counsellors and therapists each and call them and have coffee with them? There's 20 of us in our pod. We'd have met with 400 people. 400 people would have known about collaborative practice. Not just the 50 or 100 I managed to get out and meet. But together you can make collaborative work. But, the old saying, it works if you work it. You just got to work it and keep going. Every night, sometimes I get low and I think, what else can I do? So I do something crazy. Not everything's worked. I had some pens made. They were awful. I had a leaflet made. BT changed my phone number. This stuff happens, but it's all right. I'm having a good time. Anyway, so maybe out of this you could come up with a whole list of things you want to do. Actually go and do things with your pod. Don't talk about doing them. Just do it.